Keep it short, please.
Thanks, Brian. That was my brother. I really appreciate that. Guys, it's a thrill to be here. Congratulations to both our honorees. You're both so deserving, and I'm humbled to be part of your celebration. Vince said it, something about the dictionary, but Stephen, to me, bad MF starts and ends with you, okay? So it's an honor to share the field with you. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to your family. All right, this is a much deserving honor, an induction to the Hall of Fame. You're one of the fiercest, hardest hitting warriors I've ever been on the field with. I am so happy to have been on your team. Thank you. Cheers, bro. It's my pleasure and honor to be here tonight to present my good friend Peter Kowalski as he is inducted into the Kansas City Blues Hall of Fame. It's so great to be here tonight, see so many old friends, teammates, and they come from all over the place, right? We've got people from our St. Louis University days all the way through to today. And that really is the beauty of the sport of rugby, and that you make friends and relationships for life. When a playing career is done, oftentimes the wins and losses fade away, and what you're left with in your memory banks are those times with the boys that you hold in your heart and you think back on. Hanging out after practices, the road trips, the court sessions. It's always about the people, the cast of characters along the long road of career, the great people you get to meet. PK to me, to many in this room, for the Blues as a whole and the rugby community at large, is one of those great people that if you're lucky, you get to meet, you get to cross paths with. Maybe you get to call a teammate. Maybe you'll be blessed to call a friend, maybe your brother. PK is a true man of character, and I'm lucky to call him a friend. I met Peter my first day at St. Louis University. We were teammates on the rugby team, we were fraternity brothers, went on to be roommates after college. We've stood up in each other's weddings, lifelong friends. You've always been a mentor, sounding board, voice of reason, partner in crime. PK has been at the core of the club from the minute he joined as a player and administrator. He embodies everything it means to be a rugby man and a Blue, and all the great attributes of what our sport is all about. PK has always led with a welcoming, positive attitude, willingness to put the hard work in to get the job done. Peter did what we should all strive to do. When he stepped away from the Blues, he left it better than he found it. As a player administrator, the list of achievements is long and distinguished. As a player, PK started and played in Milwaukee, our Marquette University High School in Milwaukee for 2 years. Moved on to St. Louis University, where he played for 4 years as a starter. He was 2 years a captain, Western qualifier, and team MVP. After graduating from St. Louis University, he moved on to the Blues, where he had a 10-year career from 2002 to 2012. And what a career it was. Starting with the Blues in 2002, PK spent 10 years as a regular A-side player as a wing and scrum half. Played in the Super League, the D1 competition, and captained the D3 team squad as we started as a starting scrum half on the 2012 Blues team that advanced to the D3 National Elite 8 in Chula Vista. I'll always remember PK, wrapped up like a mummy in Chula Vista, marshaling the troops, screaming at the guys, getting the boys in direction so that we could win and keep moving in Chula Vista. It was amazing. Peter's career had a lot of symmetry. He started wing on the A side in both his first ever game with the Blues against KU in the fall of 2002 and last ever game with the Blues against Columbus in the fall of 2013. He scored tries in his first ever Blues game and his last ever Blues game. In between those bookends, there were a lot of accomplishments. Few player awards and accomplishments of note are most improved award player in 2003. He started on the 2010 team that advanced to the D1 Nationals and Sweet 16 in Austin, Texas, and he was the captain of that D3 team in Chula Vista. He was the lifeblood of multiple Aspen Rugger Fest trips that we've talked about before. He also had a distinguished career as a Blues Sevens player. He was a core player for 6 years, from 2007 through 2012, in which the team began to rise to national prominence that culminated in 2012 Blues team that advanced to the Club Sevens Nationals in San Francisco, California. This was the first national championship for the Blues since 2001. It set the course for unprecedented success for the Sevens team for years to come. PK spread his knowledge as well and mentorship by coaching for 4 years at the youth level with Heartland Youth Rugby Association, high school with St. Thomas Aquinas, at the collegiate level as the head coach and founder of the Sporting Club Sevens Academy for Collegiate Athletes, as well as an assistant coach with the Blues Sevens. Highlighting that career with taking 3rd place at the 2014 Club Sevens Nationals and 2nd place at the 2016 Club Sevens Nationals. It's my pleasure to introduce the newest member of the Kansas City Blues Hall of Fame, my good friend Peter Kowalski.
The Eagles kept calling this guy Kowalski, and he never answered because they've had the wrong number, the wrong spelling. I feel so fortunate to be here tonight to share my honor and my story with you all. The game of rugby has given me so much, and on this day, I'm truly humbled. Thank you to the members of the Hall of Fame and the committee for this recognition. It's difficult to put into words how much this means to me. The Blues are my extended family. This is my tribe. To all my former teammates, fellow exec board members, coaches, and the players I coached, thank you for your friendship and support. Your commitment and shared love for this game and the Blues inspired me to always dig deeper and to work harder. At the same time you inspired me, I hope I inspired you with the passion that I played with and the depth of my commitment to the club on and off the field. To play for the Kansas City Blues is an honor and a privilege. As a high school and college rugby player, I remember watching, idolizing, and dreaming about running the ball like the legendary Jonah Lomu. Upon joining the Blues, I was in awe of players like Mike Scahan, Eric Masterson, Tommy Sokola, and especially Siva Talley, whom I have the privilege of sharing this special honor with today. Siva, congratulations. When I joined the club, Scott Tripp, Ken Coleman, Jim Snaywise, and Tim Russo showed me what it took to make the club successful off the field. Today I stand on the shoulders of these great men and all of you whom I played alongside. When I was a 14-year-old freshman in high school, I was cut from the freshman football team. With an older brother on the varsity and so much social status wrapped into sports, we laugh about it now, but the disappointment at that time was crushing. I was 5 foot nothing, 100 nothing. I wasn't fast. I couldn't catch. But most importantly, I was woefully unprepared. I hadn't done anything to put myself in a position to be successful. I didn't train for tryouts. I just thought I could show up and make the team. It was a recipe for failure and for that heartache. As I matured, that heartbreak was transformative. It fundamentally changed the way that I approached opportunities and challenges. Preparation became a priority for me. And I began to work as hard as I could to accomplish my goals. This led to later success as a high school wrestler and has been the driving force behind everything I've done to try to make the Blues organization better. In a lot of ways, I've spent the last 28 years trying to make that team. I don't think I get emotional at this part. That has been like running a race that has no finish line. But the journey has taught me that nothing is given, to set high standards for myself, and not to compromise on those standards. It's taught me the power of empathy, and that nothing can replace hard work. I've been asked, where do you get your work ethic from? It was my mom. I learned what hard work was by watching her confront and conquer life's challenges. My dad owned his own consulting business and traveled extensively, and my mom did what it took to raise 3 boys while he was away, and to be actively involved in our school, church, and sports teams. She did everything she could to ensure my brothers and I knew what was expected of us, and that we were loved. That's what I saw, never a complaint. Mom, thank you for your love, strength, and belief in me. While my dad was on the road a lot, I don't remember him ever missing a game or event as a kid, and he was extremely supportive throughout my rugby career, especially with the Blues. My dad instilled in me a passion for physical fitness and an appreciation for the power of consistency and commitment. Thank you, Dad. My parents taught me to listen to others, to treat everyone with respect, and that if I was going to do something, I had better take the time and effort to do it right and to do it well. As Money mentioned, I began playing rugby as a junior in high school in 1997. My older brother began a year earlier and helped start the team at my school, and my younger brother a year later. Already a sports-mad family, the Kowalskis quickly became a rugby family, complete with the bumper stickers on the family minivan. 25 years later, I think we still are a rugby family. St. Louis University is where I fell in love with the sport. I had the time of my life, made lifelong friendships, and played rugby with some of the most interesting characters and fiercely loyal guys you could ever meet. Our coach, Bill Brandt, taught us to play the game the right way and celebrated the fact that as rugby players, we were members of a special, lifelong fraternity. It was at SLU that I first had a chance to lead a team, serving as captain for 2 years. To my SLU teammates who are here today, I'd like to ask you guys to stand for a minute. You guys are my brothers on the field and my brothers for life. Thank you guys. You have no idea how much it means to me that a lot of you guys have traveled a very long way for this. It was also at SLU where I was first exposed to the Kansas City Blues during my sophomore year. I'll never forget watching the Blues play for the first time. I may as well have been watching the All Blacks. The pace, the power, the physicality, and the attitude. When I moved to Kansas City after college in 2002, I knew I wanted to continue playing, but I was a little unsure about which team to play for. A good friend of mine, who was playing for the St. Louis Bombers at the time, put it simply, when he said that if I played for City, I would probably start right away, but that I'd have to live with the fact that the Blues would always kick our ass. Later, I went to my first sevens practice with the Blues at Minor Park, and the rest is history. When I began playing for the club, guys like Andy Rungay, Chris Lawler, Mike Fletcher, and Big Bob Wilson were always there to provide encouragement and to build me up. Andy, Scott Cram, and Derek Mantle were some of my first friends on the team. The acceptance of all these guys gave me the confidence to be a Kansas City Blue. My focus every day was on doing what I could to get into and then stay in the Blues Super League lineup, and it was tough. Super League was as close to professional as you could get in the United States at the time, and I tried to take a professional mindset to how I approached my training and my preparation. I soon discovered my contributions off the field were as impactful as what I was trying to do on the field, and in some ways even more impactful. I had tremendous respect and admiration for the history and members of the club, and for our place in the national competitive landscape. When I joined the exec board in 2005, it became my mission in life to not only preserve the legacy of the club, but to enhance it. Balancing my dreams as a player with the workload I took on as an administrator was really tough, but I loved it. I wanted to do whatever I could to make it worthwhile for every former, current, and future Blue to be part of our club, and I worked very, very hard at it. It gave me purpose, and it was life-changing for me. I was all in, and I gave the Blues everything I had. I emptied the tank. I have no regrets. Scott Adamson was the most successful coach I ever had with the Blues. We advanced to the D1 playoffs 4 years in a row at the end of my career. Give Scott a round of applause. We advanced to the D1 playoffs 4 years in a row at the end of my career, playing in the Sweet 16 in 2010. And in 2012, both our D1 and D3 teams advanced to the Elite Eight, which was unprecedented at the time and probably since. In the middle of that 2012 season, Scott came to me and gave me the choice of continuing to fight off a number of supremely talented younger players who were coming up in the program to try and maintain my roster spot on the D1 team, or choosing to lead the D3 team in captain's role. I chose to play with the D3 team, and that was one of the most fulfilling decisions I've ever made in my life. Thank you, Scott. I will always appreciate you giving me that choice at the end of my career. Thank you. I also have the privilege of playing with head coaches Bob Telfer, Johan Kapp, Mike Asika, Jason Estes, Mike Slaughter, and Joe Friedkin. Micah and Joe, will you please stand to be acknowledged? I was honored to play alongside some of the most dominant players to have ever worn a Blues jersey. C. Vitale, Vili Telepa, Johnny Vula, Jay Allen, and Ed Mills were the best players I ever played with. They could single-handedly take over a game, and I was blessed to be able to play. I also got to play with some of my closest friends, including Jay, Ashley Pouchet, Brian English, Keith Engel, Matt Gunner, Hannah Hoover, David Samples, Caleb and Bubba George, and my presenter tonight, Eric Moneyhoff. I love you guys.
Love you, buddy.
I also want to recognize a group of teammates that deserve so much credit for who the Blues are today, but never get any accolades. The guys who played for the Blues in 2007 and 2008 were part of a rebuilding process that at times felt hopeless. We went through periods where we did not have a field to train on, sometimes had less than 10 guys at practice, and consistently traveled for games overmatched and undermanned. Joe Friedkin had the thankless job of coaching us through that phase of the club, and he did his best. We had no money, we lost a lot of games, and it was really tough. But we still had a ton of fun, and we always won the party. The character and commitment of that group of guys established the foundation that so much of the club's success over the last 10 years has been built upon. So I'd like to ask the members of those teams from 2007 and 2008 to stand for a moment to be recognized. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the fight and for the character that you showed each and every week. No matter the adversity, the circumstances, and challenges we faced, you all never back down. I'm proud to be part of this group of fighters and competitors. I want to share this honor with you all. And this isn't my night, this is our night. Now to Sevens. The role that the Sevens program has had in the overall success of the Blues and in my story over the last 10 years cannot be overstated. It's hard to believe how far the Blues Sevens program has come since 2005, when it first became my dream to help restore it to prominence. Back then, Howard Kent, who ran the Denver Barbarian Sevens program, used to encourage me to put an emphasis on doing what I could to strengthen our Sevens program to help rebuild a struggling club. He was so right. In 2007, we could barely field a roster for qualifier tournaments, and we never made it out of the pool stage. Over the years, we continued to travel to qualifiers. We played, we learned, and we worked. Through the commitment of a core group of players and our coaches, we established high standards and we rebuilt the program to national prominence. It is now arguably the strongest Club Sevens program in the country. 2012 was my last year as a Sevens player. We finally made it back to the national tournament. It was a dream come true. Vince Pastorino, Pete Winkelbauer, and Scott Cram, thank you for being willing to coach and guide us. Billy Rackley, Connor Smith, Kelly Mercer, Joey D'Agostino, Kenny Scott, and Kevin Schwartz, you were core members on the rebuild. We're outstanding teammates and great friends. I love playing with you and cherish the things we accomplished together. Vince and Scott, you helped me come full circle to mentor some of the young talented athletes coming into this organization, just as so many great Blues players had mentored me when you brought me back in to coach the Sevens Academy and to assist in the supremely talented Blues Sevens teams in 2014, 15, and 16. Darwin Nelson, you were my co-coach in the Academy and with the Blues Sevens. Thank you for everything you've done for us. I also want to acknowledge Frank Mercatani. Frank, thank you for always being a consistent and supportive presence throughout my time with the club. Home away, whether we were winning or losing, thank you. The Blues have had such an important influence on my life, but most importantly, if it wasn't for the Blues, I wouldn't have met my beautiful bride, Carmen. We met at the Brookside, not the night Dane was talking about, years later. We met at the Brookside one night after practice, introduced by a teammate of mine, Michael Staub, and we fell in love. Carmen has always known my heart and has supported my dreams. She is the strongest person I know, is my best friend and my soulmate. We've been together 17 years, and together we're raising 5 amazing children.
Yes, she is.
Back to my parents, Mom and Dad, despite the distance, you're intimately involved in our lives, and we cannot imagine how we would have made it through the last 2 years without you. Thank you. I mentioned my brothers, who were both very good rugby players. I think they were probably better than I was. Jonathan and Charlie, thank you for a lifetime of love and support. Adam and Kim Pete, you aren't just friends, you are family. Adam, you've been a part of this journey since 2002, and you know how much this club and this honor means to me. Thank you both for celebrating this with us tonight. I'm almost there. Throughout my career, I set high standards, but I never asked anyone to do what I wouldn't do. And I hope my teammates respected me for that. I didn't always have a great game, but I'm very proud of the fact that my teammates knew I'd always be fit and I'd always show up. Standing here tonight, I feel like I finally made that team. My hard work has finally got me across that finish line. Thank you all for giving me that. Before I go, this is a message I'd like to leave with you. To the current players, work hard. Don't be afraid to empty the tank. Every time. If you can do that, you'll achieve things you never thought you could. Be a leader. Our club and world needs leaders. And when you have an opportunity to lead, lead with respect and empathy. But above all, have fun. This is a time of your life. Make the most of it and have as much fun as you can. Finally, to everyone, be kind to each other. Never forget the power of an encouraging word or an act of kindness or inclusion. It will make a tremendous difference in someone's life as it has in mine. Thank you very much. Thank you for this honor.
Hey, if you are an active member of the Blues Supporter Club, come see me in the front right now. I'm going to give you all your dope-ass swag. So if you're a member of the Blues